Where are you? Where are you located in Spain, out of curiosity?
I'm in the north. I'm in Asturias.
How much rain have you been
Yes.
encountering these days? Please tell us it's as bad as it is here because it's been insane in Barcelona.
Actually, I think the rain that belongs in Asturias went to Barcelona.
Seriously. Yeah.
It is too real. Okay. Keena, where are you from originally before you hightailed it out of there and came to this side of the country, of the world?
So we left Florida. So
Okay.
right in the heart of DeSantis land, Pam Bondi land, all of those people,
Mm.
Trumplandia, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Great call.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
in the blue dot of Central Florida, that's where we left. So,
Mm.
mind you, we left about 60 guns. We were stocking up. We were preparing ourselves
Gotta do
for
what you gotta
whatever
do.
Okay.
were to
Wait.
come.
This just took a
Yeah.
swing around. Okay, wait a minute. What are you talking about? 60 guns right now? Are
Yeah.
you?
In DeSantis
Yeah.
land?
Don't scare a Mexican, madam. Wait a minute. 60 guns. So
Yeah.
did you really feel, because this is one of the biggest growing gun ownerships is specifically blue Democrat voters and more specifically African American females. So,
Dangerous world.
Yeah. I, working in Florida,
yes, ma'am.
working at Tesla in Florida,
Mm.
I dealt with a lot of people who leaned right.
Mhm.
Strangely enough, working at Tesla, Tesla was more of a social status symbol.
Yes.
So we saw a lot of right leaning people come in, and the people I was working with were deeply right. And one of my colleagues, he actually was a gun shop owner, and I would listen to stories from him about the people who were coming in and how people were moving. And in my family, we understood the danger that was coming.
That's right.
So I'm thinking about 2015, 2016.
Wow.
I could
Okay.
see the dangers that were coming. Um, on top of that, that same colleague who's the gun shop owner actually had deep ties to the Trayvon Martin story. So I understood a little bit deeper than a lot of people have on the surface level living in Central Florida. So he worked with the person who took Trayvon's life. And just hearing the stories about how many people, how the people that he worked with in the area that he used to live, how they behaved, I learned and understood a bit more that people would see than people would see on the surface level. And mind you, he is an ardent Trump supporter. He was at January 6th.
Is that
This is the
right?
person I was working with daily. So I had a deep understanding of what was going on. We were always cordial,
Hmm.
but I was smart enough to take away lessons from him. And taking that home and telling the stories to my husband, he fortified our home. We made sure that we had a room in our house that was a safe room that guns couldn't penetrate. It from the outside, it seemed paranoid. Our neighbor across the street, who we were closest with, she thought we were going overboard. And now she messages us and says, how could you see all this? How could you understand that? You were ahead of the curve. And I wish
Absolutely.
I had taken the lessons from you that you were sharing with me.
May I ask you a question,
And
Keena?
yeah.
If you
Mhm.
had not been born African American, do you think, and your husband, I'm wondering if he is as well, um, would you have
No,
had,
he's actually from Asturias.
he's from Asturias, so español,
Nice.
mira nomás.
Mm.
Do you think that's plays part and parcel of why you had this kind of understanding of, prognostication of what
Like
was coming?
lived experience, kind of. What do you mean? Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure if my lived experience, I think if I relied on my experience being a Black woman growing up in the South, I would have
Hmm.
separated myself from that person I was learning from. And the way I was
Mm.
raised allowed me not to push the unsafe people away. And this was an unsafe person that I was working with, and I was very well aware of it. And I made sure to keep the lines of communication open with him. I made sure to make him feel as though I admired him in some way. And so all of his barriers came down with me, and he was very open with me, and he was trying to convince me that I should be a Trump supporter too. It made no sense, but he thought that
Yeah.
I belonged on that side of politics,
You
and I
played
was
the role
very far
well.
from it. I'm
You played the role well.
absolutely. And yeah,
Trauma
no, go ahead.
response. I just feel like some of this is as a Latino, I've never been to Alabama and Mississippi because my father would never let us stop there because he said but Mexicans were not allowed here. So there's a lot of
Mm,
trauma that I feel that Latinos and Black people are not aware of when we grow up and live in the United States of America. And so I see trauma response in some of the stuff that we're talking about right now. But you're out of there, so we don't even have to deal with that anymore, thankfully.
Learn and
Florida
grow.
itself, and when we look at historically, I'm also an historian. When we look at Florida, it has an interesting history with our Black brothers and sisters in Florida. And so, power to you and the people for. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Florida. So,
Right.
if we really quickly, I want one more question because I know we have so many to get to. But could you see 10, 12 years ago that Mr. Musk was in his mentality?
Or
no.
I guess what was your
Okay.
measure of the man
Yeah. Versus now.
versus
Here's
now?
what I This is what I've always thought of tech bros, and I considered him to be a tech bro that just had
Oh yeah.
better
Luck.
public relation skills,
Mm.
right? I've always found them to be the kids who were ostracized or in special needs. They all had some
Totes.
sort of special need, and that special need was what allowed them to become who they are. And the problem is they live in this ecosystem within one another where
Mm.
they're punching back at all the people and all the things that they thought hurt them. But they're in this space right now where they're just punching down,
Yeah.
and they have become the villain that they think they're fighting against.
Oh, child.
And they
Well said.
And
complain.
so
Yeah.
back
Well said.
and they complain. And one of my biggest things, a big part of why I started my channel was I don't have the right to complain unless I do something about it. And at
Love
the
it.
core of everything I do, I want people to stop complaining and friggin' do something about the problems that they're complaining about.
Pues, mija,
And
¿cómo
so,
sientes aquí en España? I feel like a lot of our people love to complain here in Spain, I've noticed, but I hear you loud and clear.
So I want to get directly into your page because
Oh,
I think it's something that everybody needs to see
the
at least
title, too.
once. First of all, yeah,
The
solid
title.
gold. Things your
Hello.
mom should have told you. Is that correct? Solid
yeah.
gold. Can you tell us how, like, what began your process of starting this and how you formulated your sort of brand? I mean, what you're doing is doing financial literacy education mixed with a political analysis and a social analysis. So you're getting like multiple lessons at once. And I really enjoy that element of it. So when you talk about like debt traps and ways to work within and outside of the system and ways to effectively like not empower large scale
The
corporations,
oligarchy one,
oh,
that we've been talking about, the framing.
it's just really. So I just wanted to. Can you walk us through the origins of your page?
I was supposed to share my experience living in Asturias in the countryside. That's
Is
how
it?
the channel started.
Okay. Okay.
It actually started with a different name, and
Hmm.
it was specifically supposed to focus on my
Asturias.
life as an American in Asturias.
Uh-huh.
Then I saw a video by another creator that was talking about the myths of the American dream. And I thought, wow, I want to talk about that too. And I made that video as well. But when I made that video, that's when I changed the channel name to Things Your Mom Should Have Told You. Because the myths, exactly. So that's how it all happened. I posted that video in November of 2024, and it gained traction at some point in December. And when they say start a YouTube channel, just throw everything out there and see what sticks. But as you're doing it, you're going to learn and you'll get better at it. I wasn't ready for the growth of that video. And that video, by the time January hit, had already hit 1 million views. And I was
Wow.
overwhelmed
Nice.
That's what
and
we're
just trying to
waiting for.
figure out.
Yeah, seriously.
I was trying to figure out my voice. So I grew
Yeah.
really, really fast. And I was in the middle of this sprint, this challenge that I gave myself to achieve by my 50th birthday. It was 50 videos by the time I turned 50.
Amen.
It was a 3 month sprint. And I missed it by one video, but I learned so
Okay.
much.
I love it.
And the videos that you saw during that time was me just developing my voice.
Yeah.
And what I've decided with this channel is just to give people lessons that they need to hear. A lot of the videos that don't get the most views are the lessons people don't want to hear yet.
Hmm.
There's some lessons on there about reparations. People aren't ready to hear that.
Not yet, I
There's
guess.
a video. There's a video about changing the Constitution, and I talk about the Spanish Constitution and how it was changed in 1975. It's and the only thing the viewers could see is, well, we have Trump, so we can't change the Constitution. And the point is, we can't just sit in this toilet bowl that we're in right now. We have to poke our heads above the lid and see what's going on around us.
That's right.
Because to get stuck in this mire and not have a big picture view has always been a part of our problem. And I'm just trying to get people to see beyond what's right here, right now. Because if we continue to just focus on what's right in front of us, the news cycle is going to tear us all apart. And we're going to
And it
feel
100%
it,
right.
it is.
I can't even agree with you possibly more. It's the crux of our entire existence. That very statement. So I agree with you completely.
Off the piggybacking off of that, what responsibility, especially now that you are a growing YouTuber, do you think that citizen journalists, YouTubers, people on their platforms, what do they have in shaping the political understanding of people, in your opinion?
I From what I'm seeing online, there's a lot of people talking about the same story, giving, you'll see an 8 minute video, it's 1 minute of information and 7 minutes of commentary, but the commentary doesn't really give solution. And I think we need more
Hmm.
people providing solutions, even
Okay.
if it's the same solution over and over and over again. Once people hear it enough, they'll realize, okay, I get it. If I lose my job, it will be bad. But the world we're moving towards, I'll probably lose my job anyway. So let's start working on
Seriously.
this problem right now. And people aren't looking far forward enough to understand that we've been practicing. By we, I mean the people in charge.
Yes.
They've been practicing on all marginalized groups for a very long time. They've figured this out, and we're at the point that we need to suck it up and work together and get our stuff done so that we can stop it right here, right now.
Is it
Hell
easy to,
yeah.
So,
excuse me for interrupting
No, that's yeah.
anybody.
It's, I mean, amen.
What you just said just throws back something with accountability. Because the accountability factor of the people that we've just spoken about, specifically with heterosexual men, not my brother, he takes accountability. But
I do try.
as a gay man, one of the things that I've been dealing with a lot of my business sessions and my own family is men not wanting to own up and just say, yeah, you know what, I messed up, I effed up. Excuse me, please forgive me, let me work on this. Just take accountability, let's move the F on. Is it easy, do you think, to move on and do this as we've spoken about when we have a significant portion of the population that will never apologize, take accountability, or take responsibility? And how do we
eh,
perhaps move them towards that?
Yeah, that's probably the more important
that's the
part.
thing. I've been trying to make videos that would reach those people, and the video is me talking directly to them. The We could work together if they would just take accountability. That's why I think I've made 2 or 3 videos talking about how I won't forgive Trump supporters, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I worked
Disruptive.
with a guy who I knew was the enemy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's okay. I can work
I
with
can.
you.
Mhm.
You just need to know that what you did was messed up and stop trying to hide behind your behavior was so disgusting over the past 8 years. Own
Right.
up to it. You owned up to it while you were in it. I look at people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's trying to re rebrand herself. And you know what? I'll let her do what she needs to do so that we can achieve the goals that I need. I look at
I like that.
many of the Democrats that I don't like, that who are who are like speed bumps to every destination we're trying to get to, but I
Hmm.
will work with them to achieve the goal that we're trying to achieve. And when I look back at this election back in 2024, and so many people stayed home because they didn't agree fully with somebody, it's the dumbest thing that you can do. People want to break things down. I get that. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel when it's already
Already here.
there? We can work with what we already have.
Hmm.
I
It takes a lot less effort.
The
Yeah,
leadership.
sorry to. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you're just hitting home runs after home runs, so it's hard to catch up to it. But you're completely right. We've had this exact debate.
Well, about leadership too in our
Coalitions,
parties.
coalitions aren't cults. You're going to have a lot of different types of people in coalitions. And my standard for working with people who have decided to defect, because I believe we're at war, they've declared war at us. They've been at war with people like my wife,
Hmm.
who is a woman of color, and
Hmm.
she's afraid to even go back and visit. They've been at war with us every single time they're in power. Is You're right about the apology, a sincere, heartfelt apology, but then acts of contrition.
Action.
Action.
Speak
Acts
louder
of
than words.
contrition. I don't be Marjorie Taylor Greene and oh yeah, MAGA was a lie, but then I'm gonna go vote for every piece of anti-trans legislation and still tell you the 2020 election was stolen.
Hmm.
Don't say, "Oh,
Exactly.
I don't like Donald Trump, but I'm going to keep voting for Republicans for the rest of my life." Like, prove it, show your acts, and then I think we should be, open to that. Like person by person, circumstance by circumstance dependent. But I think it's a huge, huge thing that we need defections. I mean, every single war values defections, and when you have a podcaster who is a big idiot and decided to host this monster on their show, apologize, but then show me the acts of contrition. Bring it, and then I can be more forgiving. And I think that's a big part of it.
Lady Bloom, is there any acts of contrition you could see that would make you think differently about some of these the forgiveness factor?
In my vision, I see these people defecting and being on the front line because they've already proven that they're fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
They know how
Amen.
to do it.
Amen.
They know how to fight the enemy as well. And
Hmm.
they need to be on the front lines of all of this because they brought it in. They ushered it in to help us make it move away.
What is that saying? The enemy of my enemy is my mate, is my
Yeah,
friend.
right. Más o
So if they
menos.
do deflect from that, then okay, here's come.
So let me shift it just a little bit. What do you think is something that not enough people are talking about, a systemic problem that not enough people are talking about that's fueling where we're at right now, and what do you think we can do about it? You've covered so many, so I wonder.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I try and talk about what people aren't talking about. I think everybody's focus is on those papers that have been released, and I know it's a distraction from something. What the distraction is from, I'm not quite sure.
Mm,
Um, because to protect all of that information for so long and then do this 3 million document dump, just it doesn't make sense to me. And to have the dump be incomplete at the same time also doesn't make sense to me. So I know there's something out there. Here's the problem right now for me.
please.
I am struggling with mental health
Okay.
because I'm digging through so much information,
Hmm.
and it's disheartening, having family and friends. And my family and friends groups are a part of the targeted community. So
That's right.
every day is a little bit of worry.
Yeah,
Mm.
mine too.
And so it's I'm struggling with staying on top of that. That's why I've taken my channel. I used to post twice a week. Twice a week. Now I'm down to once a week, and it's just to manage myself, so that what I'm putting out there isn't slop. I just want to put out something that is helpful and that can teach people something.
You know
And
what?
so,
Excuse me.
yeah,
No, no, sorry. There's a slight
go ahead.
delay. There's a 1 to 2 second delay. I apologize. You know, as you're speaking, I was thinking, what solutions do we offer when we're talking about the things that men are? Emotional, mental, spiritual health is one of those things that are necessary for men to start taking accountability.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So perhaps pushing the necessity for emotional, spiritual, mental health. I like to say more emotional, spiritual because if you say mental health to men, a lot, especially certain types of men, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And but you know when you're dealing with getting your emotions and spirit life, especially down in the South where everyone's a good Christian, it can sometimes affect a little bit of change. And
Lucas is from Texas, by the way.
yeah, I was born in Texas,
Mm.
and Mexican power means, and
Radical right
then
household.
very much so, and very much meted within the far right of the Republican Party. My mother was, and then after a divorce, we moved to New York City, and I became a Brooklyn boy
Mm.
at 14, 15 years old, and that was able to obviously open my mind and my eyes. But how do you distinguish between critiquing the systemic stuff that we were just mentioning and that power, and fostering and not fostering cynicism amongst the audience? Because if we're trying to critique it and not make everybody, how do we placate that, in your opinion?
In my opinion, as long as I tell you things we can do about it,
Hmm.
right? I, I've made so many changes in my life since 2022 when I left the States, and I was very much a capitalist back then.
Hmm.
I didn't understand what that meant. And capitalism, I don't see it going away anytime soon,
Right.
but there are ways that we can help one another. And that's the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that just because the almighty dollar is what you've been taught your whole life to go after, there are ways to have wealth without involving dollar bills. And actually everything's gone crypto and digital, so
Right.
there are ways to, you can barter, you can work within your community, and you can find wealth through relationships and connecting with other people.
Exchange of
I
services,
think
like bartering. Yeah.
it, exactly. So that's one of the biggest things I've been trying to teach. It's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, not just living in Spain, but specifically in the countryside in Spain. It's one of those lessons that you kind of learn really hard. Not everybody needs to have all this equipment just to get their property taken care of.
Hmm.
We share with one another, and that's something that you tend not to see in the cities, and that's something that I do want to spread through my channel.
You know what? That's fostering, in a way, not only just an aid, but an abundance mentality. Because with your aid, you're helping other people create an abundance for their own, wealth or what
Yeah.
have you.
In a
But
way of speaking, yeah.
there, if we're looking forward,
Yes. Which we always are.
which we need to be specifically more so now, what topics or events do you feel are going to be more central to the commentary for that what you need between 26 to 27?
Right now, I really, okay, I'm looking forward in the sense that I am concerned about the elections with what
Hmm.
Stephen Bannon has said, with
Just talked about that.
the frozen people monitoring the polling sites. And
Frozen
so
people. I
I'm
like that.
concerned. I'm concerned about my mail-in ballot. You know, it's
Hmm.
not free
That's what we're
to
talking about.
for
Yep.
us to vote from abroad. You know, it
Hmm.
costs money.
Yes, it
And
does.
while I saw that my vote was counted in Florida, it didn't matter because I'm a little blue dot. I'm in the little blue dot in a
Hmm.
state that used to be blue that somehow turned purple and is now red. So
Do you see it going
yeah,
purple
that's,
again by chance?
I think it's always been purple
Okay.
ever since uh, the last time I trusted my vote in Florida was when
Gore.
Al Gore lost.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's when all of my faith kind of fell apart because it didn't make sense. We're talking about a hanging Chad,
And who was the
right?
governor then? I don't remember
Yeah,
who that
Brooks Brothers
governor was.
riots, one of the worst Supreme Court
I
decisions
was
of
in
all
uni
time.
at the time, and I just
Yeah.
remember thinking, this is a
And a
set
lot of those
up.
characters returned for January 6th and the Jump's entire attempt to overturn the election. So, can you, on a final note, can you walk us through a little bit of your upcoming projects and what you're planning to sort of dig into for us? Where sort of now we have an appetite for this content.
My next video is actually a plea for people to do something. I think it'll be fun with my videos. What I've learned, because I have to play with the YouTube algorithm,
Yeah.
I have learned that my second sentence insults somebody. It always insults somebody. So whoever I'm insulting, that's the person that the video is actually talking to. And there's going to be a lot of insults in this video and it'll be fun, but my insults they don't come as harsh because of the way I speak. It's very soft, and actually I speed up my videos because I talk so slowly and I could put everybody to sleep. But with my voice, I'm able to get some harsh points across that people need to hear. And I
Amen.
hope that the people that I'm talking to will very much hear it. And basically, I'm asking people to take action financially, especially hearing about what Visa and MasterCard have planned with the Trump card and all of these things. Like,
Right.
we
It's ridiculous.
really need to figure out what we're doing and how we're doing it.
The
And, with
boycotts.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
with my last video, I shared a link to, I think it's called European-alternatives.eu, where you can find alternative products from the ones that you use in the US. And these are specifically European alternatives. And I'm here in Europe. That's why I'm looking at European alternatives. But
That's a brilliant
there
idea.
are options that we can do that don't involve the US, because frankly we need to break what is happening, and the only leverage we have is financial. And unless people want to get in the streets and become violent, but I'm not your girl for that. So
Nah,
I'm going to do
we're not there
financial.
yet. Elections, courts, protests are allowed.
Let's
Trolling the
just
president on Twitter is allowed.
and let's hope we
We're
get
not
to
there
the
yet.
elections.
Yeah, let's if, as long as like elections
Yeah.
are counted and Dementia Don is on a helicopter on his way out of DC on what about January 20th, 2029. If that doesn't happen, it's a whole different
He
conversation.
won't make it to that.
Yeah. Listen, we're so lucky
Thank
to
you.
have your time. Thank you,
Honestly.
thank you, thank you. Can you give one more promotion for your page?
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My channel is called Things Your Mom Should Have Told You, and I just tell you stuff that your mama should have told you. And don't call me mama on my page, please, because
Hell
I'm not your
no.
mom.
Hell no. Exactly.
Right.
Because, folks, that's the way works now. Okay. Lady
Thank you
Keena,
so much.